Coming up on Mountain News this morning, President Trump is set to deliver his State of the Union address later today. Plus, Virginia's governor is facing criticism after a racist photo from his medical school yearbook is published. And investigators are still looking for pieces of a plane that crashed in California, killing 5 people.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:31 on Tuesday, February 5th. I'm Will Puckett. It's going to be a soggy one, so get those rain jackets ready, rain boots, and an umbrella. Get it ready to go today because you're going to need it. Let's bring Brandon in on the fold, who will give us a better breakdown of when you are to expect the rain. And Brandon, the temps for today.
Absolutely. It's gorgeous this morning already, mild. And again, rain gear, keep it with you, but I don't know if you'll use it a whole lot today. Today, one of the drier days. Tomorrow, maybe Thursday and into Friday, could be a little bit more on the iffy side. Let's take a look at the Virginia UVA WISE camera this morning over in Southwest Virginia. And again, some fog, some low clouds over there this morning. So just give yourself a little extra time. Maybe a spotty shower going through right now. Last few hours on the satellite and radar, things are pretty quiet across Southwest Virginia and most of Eastern Kentucky, Southern West Virginia, and East Tennessee. A few scattered showers out there across parts of the region. We're looking at temperatures anywhere between 50 and 58. That's our range this morning. 55 Monticello, 53 London, 57 Pikeville and Williamsburg this morning, and 55 up toward Moorhead, 51 here in Hazard. Take a look across the state, and you can see those colder temperatures out toward Paducah and Owensboro. Cold front out there with a warm front battling back right behind it, so we're going to keep an eye on those warmer temperatures for the next few days. And you can see today, 65 a daytime high, even with the cloud cover. It's going to warm up quite nicely this afternoon. I'll have the rest of the forecast in a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brendan, thank you. President Trump delivers the State of the Union address tonight, 1 week later than originally planned, thanks to the partial government shutdown. CBS's Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill with the preview.
President Trump is expected to call for unity as he speaks to a divided Congress tonight during his second State of the Union address.
A looming question is just how many falsehoods, distortions, and made-up facts will appear in the president's speech.
The president and Democrats have remained at odds over border wall funding, a $5.7 billion sticking point that caused the recent 35-day government shutdown.
We're going to have a strong border, and the only way you have a strong border is you need a physical barrier, you need a wall.
Lawmakers have just 10 days to strike a deal and avert another shutdown. Aides to President Trump say he'll preach bipartisanship at tonight's speech.
You're also going to see the president call on Congress and say, look, we can either work together and get great things done, or we can fight each other and get nothing done.
The president has suggested he may circumvent Congress by declaring a national emergency to build his wall.
You'll hear the State of the Union, and then you'll see what happens right after the State of the Union. Okay?
Some members of his own party aren't sure he should go that far.
I think it's of dubious constitutionality.
And this would just be another erosion of congressional authority in this particular area. With that being said, the president is absolutely right. We need better barriers.
Delivering the Democratic response to President Trump's speech will be Stacey Abrams, who narrowly lost her bid to become Georgia's first black governor. And Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, as always, in attendance will be dozens of guests that help send a message. Among the presidents are a family of a murdered couple killed by illegal immigrants, an officer and a survivor of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, and a 6th grader who has allegedly been bullied because his last name is Trump. Democrats are bringing people who have benefited from Obamacare, people who were separated from their family at the border, and DACA recipients. Well, a March 13th sentencing date has been set for former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort. That is according to a federal district judge in Washington, D.C. The new date pushes back slightly the timeline of Manafort's first sentencing. At the hearing, he will be sentenced on conspiracy and witness tampering, which he pleaded guilty to. Manafort has been in prison since June 2018 after being accused of witness tampering. Well, uncertainty continues to swirl around the Virginia State House. Governor Ralph Northam is refusing to step down despite widespread calls for his resignation. The crisis began last week when a conservative news website published Northrop's 1984 medical school yearbook page. In one photo, a man with blackface is seen with another person who's dressed as a member of the KKK. The story set off protests demanding the governor's resignation.
Regardless of the veracity of the photograph, the governor's lost the confidence of the people and cannot effectively govern.
Meanwhile, the man who would replace Northrop, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, is also facing allegations from his past. The same conservative website that uncovered Northam's yearbook photo says a woman accused Fairfax of sexually assaulting her. Fairfax has denied that woman's claim. Well, two cars hit a Knox County man and killed him Sunday night. Investigators say it happened near the entrance of Parkway Plaza on US 25 East. Police say James Morgan was first hit by a Ford Explorer. The person driving that SUV stopped to call for help. But during that time, Morgan was hit by another car. He was 75 years old. Well, we now know the name of a man who was killed after being hit by multiple vehicles in McCreary County. It happened around 10:30 Sunday night on US 27 in the Pine Knot community. Police say 43-year-old Adam Slavin was walking in the southbound lanes when a car hit him into the other lane, where he was then hit by 3 more vehicles. Slavin was pronounced dead at the scene. The road was closed for nearly 4 hours while police cleared it. No drivers were hurt and no charges are being filed. Well, investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board are working to track down pieces of an airplane that crashed into a California neighborhood Sunday. Parts of the Cessna and one of its 2 engines slammed into this 2-story home in Yerba Linda, California, killing 4 people inside who were preparing to have a Super Bowl party. Other parts landed in the streets. The plane's body was found in another backyard. In all, NTSB officials say the wreckage was spread out over a 4-block radius.
The witnesses I spoke with say that they saw the airplane coming out of the clouds. It was still in one piece, and then they saw the tail breaking off, and then wind breaking off, and then subsequent smoke before the airplane impacted the ground.
The pilot of the plane, Nevada resident Antonio Pastini, also died. 2 other people were inside the house that was hit. They were injured but were able to escape. Now take a look at this. Police in Hazard say it is a counterfeit $100 bill. Investigators say businesses have been calling them about the fake cash, and they include $50 bills also. They want everyone to keep a close eye out for them. If you see one, call 606-436-2222. Well, the Martin County Sheriff's Office laid off yet another employee yesterday morning, along with cutting office hours in half. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked with one woman who says she fears for the older people in the community.
Working with a skeleton crew.
We're down to one employee in the sheriff's office.
Martin County Sheriff John Kirk laid off yet another employee Monday morning.
It's something I had to do. I don't have a choice. If I can't make payroll, I have to cut expenses.
He says the previous administration is to blame for the budget cuts.
If I was part of the past administration, I'd probably be ashamed to look the people in the eye.
Now the cuts are causing neighbors to worry.
It's sad. It's very sad.
Betty Fletcher says her mother lives more than 20 minutes away from the sheriff's office.
She's 81 years old, and a lot of things can happen in 20 minutes.
Even with a surveillance system and deadbolts, she still fears for the worst.
It's dangerous, and we worry about her, even not just in the night, it's in the day too.
Fletcher says people need to take their safety in their own hands.
A lot of crime is going to happen, and people are going to have to take care of their own.
And sadly, Sheriff Kirk agrees.
The people are going to suffer. You know, we're having to basically cut out our law enforcement. We don't have time.
Making hard decisions. In Martin County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Sheriff John Kirk says Kentucky State Police will have to take over the majority of their calls. Well, measles infections are continuing to pop up across the nation in at least 10 states and now Texas, where they are reporting 3 cases in Harris County. Cases are continuing to spike in Clark County, Washington, where they now have at least 49 cases. The public health director there says the outbreak is not only endangering the health of the community, but it's also seriously hurting the health department's resources.
If this goes on for weeks and months, not only am I concerned about, potential death and other really bad complications from this.
The outbreak is also putting the county and state under major financial strain, and as cases flare up, staffing is getting spread thin. Well, it's 6:41. Let's head on over to Brandon for a look at your weather.
Yeah, well, we're going to see again a few stray showers today. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar, and we're continuing to see a few of those over near the Virginia and West Virginia borders. No major issues. Some wet roads this morning and some patchy fog, so be careful. Temperatures in the 50s area wide, a lot warmer than it was this time yesterday. Much cooler yesterday, and temperatures are going to climb into the 60s later today. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Well, we will have stories trending on WYMT.com next. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. And still to come, in Laurel County, parents are behind bars after police say they drank while caring for their son.